Snow White. Once upon a time, on a cold winter morning, snowflakes fell like feathers from the sky. A queen sat by a window, sewing near a frame made of black ebony wood. As she sewed, she looked out at the snow and pricked her finger with her needle. 3 drops of bright red blood fell upon the white snow. The queen looked at the red blood on the white snow and thought, "How I wish I had a daughter with skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, and hair as black as ebony wood." Soon after, she gave birth to a little princess, just as she had wished. Her skin was white as snow. Her lips were red as blood, and her hair was black as ebony. So people called her Snow White. But shortly after Snow White was born, the good queen died. A year later, the king married a new queen. She was beautiful but proud and cold. The thing she could not bear most was someone being more beautiful than her. She had a magic mirror. Every day she stood before it and asked, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest woman in this land?" The mirror always answered, "My queen, you are the fairest woman in the land." Snow White grew up day by day and became more and more beautiful. One day, when the queen asked the mirror again, it replied, "My queen, you are still beautiful, but Snow White is 1,000 times more beautiful than you." The queen was filled with envy and hatred. She made up her mind to get rid of Snow White. She ordered a hunter to take Snow White into the forest and kill her, and bring back her heart as proof. The hunter took Snow White into the forest, but he felt pity and let her go. He used the heart of a wild beast to deceive the queen. Snow White got lost in the forest until night fell. She found a tiny cottage. Inside, there were 7 little beds, 7 little chairs, and 7 sets of plates. Exhausted, she tried each bed and finally fell asleep. This house belonged to 7 dwarfs. They were miners. They came home at dawn and found Snow White. After learning about her story, they agreed to let her stay, but warned her never to open the door for strangers. The queen asked the mirror again and learned that Snow White was still alive, living with the dwarfs. She disguised herself and brought a tight lace and a poisoned comb. But Snow White was saved by the dwarfs each time. Finally, the queen made a poisoned apple. Half was poisoned and half was safe. She tricked Snow White into eating the poisoned half. Snow White fell to the ground at once. The dwarfs thought she was dead and placed her in a glass coffin. Because she was still as beautiful as if she were sleeping, no one wanted to bury her. Later, a prince passed by and saw Snow White. He fell in love with her at first sight. While carrying the coffin, the apple piece fell from Snow White's throat, and she woke up. The prince asked her to marry him, and Snow White agreed. At the wedding, the evil queen was punished. Snow White and the prince lived happily ever after.